Hi, hello everyone, and welcome to my story time or my short story time. I hope it will be interesting for you. Let me put it all in context. First, my story time treats about when we were in quarantine. I know quarantine was a really hard situation for everybody because there were many employed people and many things that everybody knows and that makes us because we we had to get used to living in those conditions and look for the best way to survive. So in that moment, it was really hard for me. I think one of the worst part of my life, but I really appreciate that moment because it helps me to grow up. Um, so let me start. I'm Cesar Graterol. I live in the northern part of Barquisimeto, and in that moment, my unique method of transport it was, like you can see in this picture, was my bicycle. I love that bicycle, my old bicycle. It's lamentable, but I had a problem with that because my bicycle broke down, and it was really hard because I was getting used to my old bike and I love it. But in that moment, it's lamentable. But I was with my dad, and I said, "Oh my God, Dad, it's lamentable. We don't have the unit method to transport to Barquisimeto or everywhere here, and it was really hard because I really love that. So we don't have another option, and we had to buy a new one in Barquisimeto because that was or unique method to transport because I used to ride all over in this zone looking for water and food. Um, so I had to get used to cycling for everywhere here, looking for water for minutes or hours. And it was a really hard situation. I was think so when we bought that new bicycle, it was hard because we had to buy that in Barquisimeto because um, we had an uncle that helped us to find that bicycle. Um, but it was hard because we had to return to Las Casitas in on my new bicycle. And yeah, now maybe I can say, oh my God, in this moment I made jokes with that. But in that moment, I suffered a lot because I was getting used to my bike, my new bike. It was really hard because the way is so long. But when I bought that, I was really happy because I had my bicycle, and I start with my daily routine. Like in that moment, I used to buy food. I used to buy water for my house. Um, there came a moment that there was no water to drink in my house. We didn't have water to drink here, and it was really hard because when I went to the store that sold water for everyone in my neighborhood, it was closed, and I said, "Oh my God, really?" It can be another moment, and no. So the other form to look for water was that I had to I had to ride or I had to go for 6 kilometers. I don't remember how many kilometers was it, but it's so large away. That's all I can say. And when I was getting to that store, my new bike broke down, and it was, oh my God, I don't know what am I gonna do with my life because like you can see in this picture, I was with three large bottle of water, and we have with my new bicycle that broke down. So it was really hard. For another part, my mom was really frustrated because in that moment she was working in her company, and it was really hard for her because she used to call us to me and my sister when we were at home. And I remember she told me she calls to my sister, and she said, oh my god, where how is your brother? And my sister said in that moment, oh my god, my brother didn't come back. He goes to that store at 10 p.m. And it was a really hard situation because I remembered in that moment, um, I went to that store to 10 a.m. and it was 5 p.m. and nobody knew about me. So my mom and my dad, you can, if you can see, like you can see that it was like this picture. My mom and my dad called to the police to looking for me, but they couldn't find me in that moment, and it was really hard. And the principal reason that I couldn't have a communicate how to communicate with them was that it was a black there was a black cow here in this zone, and it was really hard. And since God, there was a old man, a pretty good old man in the way that it was that it was like an angel for me because helps me to fix my bicycle, and he gave me food in that moment, and it was like an angel. So I was really worried in that moment because I had three large bottle of water. I had my bicycle broke down, and I was without signal because it was there was a blackout. So he helps me. I remember the light used to came. The light used to came to 6 7 p.m. here in this zone, and in that moment the light came, and I could call to my parents to tell them that I was okay. It was everything is okay. I'm in good conditions, and I could find the water because with my dad and with my mom we went to the store and we bought the water that we need, and we bought the food. And it was a really hard situation that makes me grow up. I don't recommend for anybody because it is one of the most hardest part of my life. But that's all my story time. Maybe it's a frustrating story time, but that's all. Thank you for all. This is my all story time. I could find the water, but it was really hard. So thank you for hearing me. That's all.